class, it just stopped recording. I don't know why, but I only got like 4 minutes of actual recording. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to put up my brightness. Alright, guys, today I'm not really going to go over, today's not a levels course. Today we're just going to pretty much go, we're going to talk a little bit on how we get our levels and everything so we can understand it, but most importantly, we're going to talk about on how we play our levels. That way, whenever I'm dropping charts, or even when I'm not dropping charts during the trading session, even if I drop my levels the night before like I always do, you guys can at least get a little bit of a sense on how we play. That way, if I'm not available or anything at some time, you guys are more than welcome to play based off what our levels are showing. So when it comes to levels, guys, I usually play all my levels on the 15-minute time frame. I feel like the 15-minute time frame usually gives me I played on multiple time frames. The 5-minute time frame was the time frame I used to use the most, but the 15-minute time frame I've been using for like the past 2 to 3 years already, and it's the time frame that I feel usually gives me, I can kind of determine on where the price action is going to take me to based off the 15-minute levels. And I'm going to put it, for example, on the play on Friday that we took. On Friday, we took a play at around 9:10, the candle that was at 9:10 and 9:15 on the 15-minute, on the 5-minute time frame. Yeah, I'll go to the 5-minute time frame right now. And the reason I got into this play was because I seen the downside pressure. Wanted to play calls. I would have wanted to see us push above the 90 EMA. So I took puts at the 90 EMA because I already seen the downside pressure. We're below the 90 EMA on both the 5 and the 15-minute time frame. So my risk to reward in this situation is if we start pushing above the 90 EMA, my play would have been invalidated because our trend day would have been invalidated. And in this case right here, my risk to reward was I could have stopped above the 90 EMA, but what I really wanted is I knew if this candle right here gave us the close below our key pivot, then we already knew that the next price targets, and that's exactly what we got. And same thing happened over here once we got the 15-minute close. And I was telling you guys in the chat, if we get a 15-minute close underneath 605.65, which we did, price targets are going to be over here, which it was a pretty crazy downside day on Friday, but we just kept closing below levels. And but to put into perspective, the 15-minute levels, I usually play them like the best way to describe them for me is kind of like a ping pong game. Right here would be an example. We hold below, but right here, obviously too much chop. The levels are just gonna be telling you where it's gonna go when there's like good price action. When there's chop, the levels are still gonna show you that there's chop, but at least we can see a good range that the market is chopping in. So, like right here in this example, we cannot get a 15-minute close above our key pivot right here, so we just try pushing down. But unfortunately, there's so much chop. We're in the chop zone between between supply and our key pivot over here. All this right here is our supply zone, which is chopping. We cannot get a 15-minute close above our key pivot, so liquidity grab to our next price target over here. And then what do? We held above demand zone on the 15-minute time frame. And when I say held, I'm usually talking about when candles open and close. And the 15-minute time frame for me always gives the confirmation, but we hold above the demand zone and back into the playing area, I guess. And it didn't happen until the next day where we finally closed above this key pivot that we could not close all day. We got a 15-minute close above it. We cannot get a 15-minute close below it again. Every single time we held above, we just got the next move to our next key pivot. And right here, it's all-time high. So we're just trying to get the best levels we can, based off the previous data we've received. And yeah, but every time I get into a play, guys, I'm looking at the open and closes on the 15-minute candles. I want to see where they open, where they close. In this case, if I'm playing puts, I'm watching for if we get a close above, or if I got in this situation right here, I got in under once we got the confirmation close under our key pivot. My stop loss would be a 15-minute close above my key pivot. You guys can keep it sweet and simple. And a lot of people want me to talk about lotos compared to full position plays. Like lotos, I usually play Depends the day, but 50 to around 50, half of my half to three quarters of my usual position. And I don't know, with lottos I just have a. You guys usually see me when I play lottos. It's usually the second play of the day with the and for that case I usually just do it because I already secured my money on the first play. Unless I took a loss on the first play, then okay, I might. But I always play all my plays with confidence. I always play all my plays with confidence, and the only reason something might be a lotto or something is that I might just be, because lately we just been getting a lot of chop. So if I want to get into a play, the afternoon play is going to be a lotto, just for the reason that we see a lot of chop and mostly in the afternoon lately. So I'm just playing it safe. That's what I mean. But all my plays are played with confidence, and nothing to discredit. If I say lotto or something, it's just to save us capital at the end of the day. And right here would be a perfect description as well. Once we open on Friday, we cannot get a push above our key pivot. We start pushing below it. We see the downside of the game right here. We start getting 15-minute closes. So now the game's between over here and over here. So we get a push to our price targets, and right here our key pivot held. If people wanted to play calls, they could have played calls all day. It was a trend day. When it comes to my plays as well, I also look at the 9 EMA majority of the time on the 5 and the 15-minute time frame. Like on the 15-minute time frame, this gave it to me perfectly. And the 9 EMA just usually helps me find trends on the day. If it's a hard trend day, we can see right here, we respected it all day. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. Right here, a little bit of chop, but once we stayed below it again, we just stayed below it the whole ride down next to our next price target. Keep holding it down, and... But for like really strong trend days, I really enjoy the 9 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. I also use VWAP, of course. VWAP really helps me when it's not a trend day, Then at the end of the day, we like in a play like over here, but over here it was just straight down. But some majority of the time in a trend day, I mean not a trend day, but when there's gonna be like a reversal somewhere in the afternoon, I'm kind of trying to watch where VWAP is. And where our levels are located at. Right here, we just held this level over here, 602.17. I would have probably took calls, and I was done. But hypothetically speaking, I would have taken calls because VWAP is over here. So now I would have enjoyed this range over here, just for like a little pullback. But other than that, the 9 EMA is what helps me out the most. And keep in mind, guys, if you guys have any questions, please ask, because today we're not really going over levels. I'm giving a little explanation on levels. We can fix up some of the levels that we drew. Whenever we draw up levels, I usually just tweak them a little bit at nighttime for like 10 to 20 minutes and all that stuff. What's up, Donate? But yeah, all my entries are based on the 15-minute close, and I always drop you guys my charts every single day, just in case something happens during the morning where I can't get on. You guys are pretty much seeing the same thing as me, or if I call out something, you guys can. Because what I like about trading is that there's so many strategies to trading. I know I have a different strategy compared to a lot of people, and it's just what fits you guys the best. And like, let's say if you guys have a strategy that's working already really well for you guys. And you guys just maybe want to add a little bit more. Why not just add maybe if you guys don't want to add too many levels or anything, but I like to keep my levels like around $2 to $3 separated, just because $2 to $3 in ODT is a good move. And you guys know that, so. But just keep sometimes I base my entries off the 5-minute, like I did on Friday as well, but all my confirmations come off the 15-minute at the end of the day. And sometimes if you guys just don't want to have too much noise, because I understand sometimes too many candles get a little stressing, like in this situation. Best way to just cut that off is, honestly, when I'm down to my runners, this is how I play my runners as well. When I'm down to runners, I just pretty much just keep the 15-minute time frame on the rest of the day. And like a day like Friday, a really strong trend day, I keep the 15-minute time frame on, avoid a lot of candles. Like I don't like I said, there's so many strategies when it comes to trading. A lot of people use like the 1 minute time frame and stuff like that. 5 minute is the lowest I would go personally. But sometimes I notice when it's chopping and I'm waiting for a bigger move, I just like to be on the 15-minute time frame because the 15-minute time frame just gives us less candles and it gives us the confirmations that we're gonna get. And like I said, the 90 MA on the 15 is always really strong compared to when once we're chopping on the 5 minute. If you guys just want to have a full confirmation, just wait. We already got a pullback, so I'll just wait for confirmation. And we're just chopping around the 90 MA on the 5 minute. I would usually just wait for a confirmation on the 90 MA on the 15 as well. And this was my confirmation right here. I just kept waiting. We cannot get it close into supply zone, which in the group, once this whole play was playing out right here, I noticed a lot of people were trying to buy calls around this area right here, looking for a reversal. But I even pointed it out. The only way it would look a little bit better for a reversal is it does need the confirmation of 15-minute close above 608.11. But I would look to start trying to get a close above 607.36 because it's pushing into supply zone and it's holding. And if it holds into supply zone, then it's gonna look good. In this case, I know sometimes I talk about FVGs and IFVGs, which are inverse FVGs in the group chat. FVGs are pretty much like staircase. What helps you guys out with staircases and how to look for a reversal off the staircase. I'm not really good at explaining that, but I'm gonna try to draw it as best as I can for you guys. Like I said, I'm not a teacher or anything. I just trade and I try teaching you guys how I trade and everything. But FVG right here would be, I'm looking at this right here is testing the bottom of this wick right here, and in this situation right here, this would be the next staircase down based off what these candles are telling me. And if it wanted to start looking good for a reversal, it would have pushed above the 90 MA on the 15, and it would have pushed into this FVG, invalidating it, turning it into an inverse FVG. Once we see her holding the inverse FVG, 15-minute close above 608.11 would be the confirmation that we're going to continue seeing higher. Back a push at least to try to get into high of day, if anything, supply zone between 609.59 and 610.89. Does that make sense to you guys? My take profit strategy was money when it comes to taking profit. Since this is ODT, I would say it's fairly easy to get 20-30% moves. I would say I like to take majority of my percentages out once it's already above like 50%. It just depends on how the candles are moving. You know, sometimes there's moments where I take majority of my profits out at like over 100% just because we got a nice move, or 70%, you know, since it's moving nice. But if it's taking a little bit slow, we're kind of testing. Like, let's say I got into shorts over here, kind of chopped it out, kind of burned it out, and by the time we're testing our key pivot over here and it's barely like 50%, I'll take majority out right here because I know this is my first price target and I should be safe. And then I'll just leave my runners based off, okay, if it's a trend day, we're going to keep invalidating the 90 MA and got the 15-minute close. Now, like I dropped it in the group chat, I'll take... in my runners, I usually, like when it comes to runners, I usually have like maybe 50 to 30. I start taking off like every 100%, depending on the move. Maybe I get like 120%, and then the next move is 250%, you know. It just depends when it starts hitting my my price targets. But yeah, since it's ODT, I usually like getting majority of my profit out, at least over 50%. That I'll consider that a win. But I usually do take out like some. I start scaling out above 20%. Like if it's a little bit of a better move, I might start scaling out like 30%. You know, I've never really scaled out any 16% or 17% unless there's a situation where I had to get into another play, and because I didn't like my first entry on my original play, and the second play hits a really good percentage, and by the time my second play hit a really good percentage, my first play finally is at break even and pushed to like 16-17%. I'm taking profit out right there, you know, because obviously I didn't enjoy my entry on the first position, but it is what it is. That's why I got into another play, and it's already hitting my price targets. All my levels are my price targets. By levels, like I mean levels and indicators. Like I would say, if I'm playing, if this level right here held and everything, and I'm only looking for a price target of over here 604.57 to 605.65. My first take profit would have been the 90 EMA, just for the fact that it's been a really strong trend day. So my take profits are, but in this case right here, if I got into shorts, my majority of my take profit would have been around this zone down here. As a refresher, what's different between your white pivot levels and red supply and demand? My white levels are my main key pivots. So the main thing I'm always looking at on the charts is my key pivots. Seeing how we hold my key pivots, and and the red levels just kind of help me to identify a supply and demand zone between there. And the supply and demand zones just pretty much help me out with. They kind of help me out draw FEGs or staircases. Like in this case, like on Friday, I knew this FEG. There was an FEG right here. FEG means fair value gap, by the way. I'm trying to describe it as best as I can, but I know there's probably a lot better YouTube videos that describe it a lot better. But I got an FEG right here with my supply zone right here. Supply zones are, I'm not sure. I feel like majority of you guys know what supply zones is, but that's usually where majority of people are selling, and then demand zones like over here where we got bought up over here. We held into the demand zone, pushed into supply zone. Demand zone is where people usually buy. It's just gonna depend on the price action of the day, obviously, but yeah, supply zones depending on which way we're moving. In this case, I know we had a supply zone right here with the FEG. They usually help me align plays that way. They usually help me catch their cases as well. So, but the main things I'm always looking at is the key pivots. Like if I want to get shorts below my supply zone and I see the 9 EMA right here, my stop loss would be my key pivot, because I know there's a chance that we could probably push up a little bit. Maybe my FEG might be a little bit off or something, and then see how it holds below my key pivot for a push down again. But I know as soon as we start getting a 15-minute close above key pivot over here, my next price target would probably be 609.59. And in that case, you could switch, but I'll probably just get stop out and wait to see if I can get a better move, or if it starts chopping, wait to see what's gonna do in the afternoon. Let's say it starts chopping somewhere over here, which is it's probably best to wait till the afternoon, because the plays that have usually been happening in the afternoon and in the morning. A lot of chop recently. Trend lines, I usually just draw them when I'm looking at flags or something. Like I know I probably had this drawn out on Friday, and I know we have a zone over here. So as soon as we start pushing below our trend line, that's a little bit more validation to know that, yep, it's rejecting the staircase down. We're getting a staircase down, and boom. So I play everything based off my levels and everything. But sometimes I might just draw a trend line depending on the day. I probably have this drawn out as well. I usually have, if we have like a big trending day, like on Friday, I'll put it from the high of the day. See which one. I usually just see which one looks better, but in this case right here, what? Let's say we drop this trend line on Friday, and we see we got to close above it. Then we got a really strongest push, a really bearish candle back below the trend line. Then that's how we know this is a weak trend line. But it just helps me catch those trends. You know, I don't really. I just play them off. I just play the trends if they match with my levels. Nah, Power B, I just described my stop loss, bro. Um, like let's say if I got a 15-minute close below my key pivot over here, now I'm depending on the game. Obviously, there's gonna be times where there's a lot of chop and everything, and you just gotta try to figure it out based off the slow movement. But in this case, right here, we were getting good price action. So let's say if you finally got a 15-minute confirmation below the level, so you finally take shorts. A stop loss, like our stop loss, would be of the 15-minute close, a 15-minute candle open and close above 608.11, because this it's just invalidating my what's it called, I'm just having a brain fart right now. It's invalidating my play, I guess. My setup. It's invalidating my setup, I mean. I usually enter off the 5 minute, but with the 15-minute confirmation, the 5 minutes just helps me find a good entry. It's like on Friday, my entry was over here. It was based off the 5 minute candle. I was waiting for the 90 MA to retest it. Then my 100% confirmation for us that we were going to continue to see downside is this is the 5 minute candle between 9:10 and 9:15. So the last 5 minute candle on the 15-minute time frame. 100% confirmation was once we got that 15-minute close below our key pivot right here, we knew the game was between our key pivot over here and our key pivot over here, which eventually we got. Anytime back guys, how to know an entry point? I never. Okay, for me, I will never enter a play if I'm in the middle of my levels. I always enter my plays at least as close as possible to my level, just in case we chop around here or something. I know I still got a really tight stop loss above my level. It might burn us out. It is what it is. But like if we get a push right here, then we get another 15-minute push over here. Then that would be my stop loss over here. But entry point would be I would never try to get it into the bottom of a candle right here. I usually would try to get into the top of like a little retest or something right here. I see this like right here would have been perfect. We got the 15-minute close up below over here, and then the candles are retesting the level. So I usually just look at the 5 minute for like wicks of the retest of the 90 MA or one of my levels. But I would not enter a play around here. If I'm looking at downside right here, maybe you guys can enter as close as to supply over here, but I would not enter like somewhere over here, expecting to get like a really good move. Because now my stop loss is gonna be all the way over here, compared to if I buy right here, it's over here. If I buy right here, my stop loss is gonna be all the way over here. It's crazy. Yeah, with like lotos, I'm a little bit more lenient on it, but. And then like another example that I'm on Thursday we took this play right here for calls. Obviously, it's trading is all, I would say the one thing about trading, guys, it's all 95% is mental, and the other 5% is you could have the most perfect strategy, but 95% is gonna be mental. Like I feel like when I had like I was just not into it mentally. I was playing against my levels. My levels are still telling me the move and everything, but I was just playing against my levels. So trading is I'm telling you guys, trading is 95% mental. It's all about knowing how to be patient, getting the exact entry you want with patience and everything. In this case right here, I walked you guys through it in the trading chat, but we missed the original pump. You guys know I like to play at least till the first 30 minutes of the market already happen, because sometimes the first 30 minutes of the market, it's a little bit harder for me, it might be a little bit easier for some people, but I like to wait it out till the first 30 minutes happen to at least see what's the vibe we're getting for the day. And right here we got the pump in the morning. I already missed the play, so It's 9 a.m. over here. I cannot get the 15-minute confirmation over here. But I did not want to play shorts just because it's still looking bullish, and we got a 15-minute close over here. So I did not play calls till actually, I think I did. Once we got the 15-minute confirmation over here, we played calls on this candle right here, and then we played calls once again. I think this candle gave us. I can't remember, this was 55% or 80%, and then this candle over here, we got in on these retests over here. Got in bottoms with the stop loss of a 15-minute close below over here. All the 15-minute candle like this is what I mean with the 5-minute. The 5-minute sometimes gonna give you guys too much noise. Like this right here, a little fuckery candle, but it's not gonna do nothing when you guys just go to a little bit of a bigger time frame and see get a better look at the image without having too much noise in front of you. And every single 15-minute candle held up right here, held above VWAP as well. And then right here we pushed up to our price targets. And then once we pushed up to our price targets, we started pushing up again, and we got a 15-minute close. So now we knew our price target was going to be eventually up here again. Not FEG, FVG, like F as in Federal, V Victor, and G as in Goose. How's the chat, guys? How's the class, guys? Is this understandable to you guys? I want to make it as understandable as possible to you guys, because I know I'm not a teacher, so I'm just trying to make it as easy to understand as possible. Because trading is not complicated at all, guys. Some people just make it complicated. I've had people say that I have too many levels on my I have too many levels on my chart and everything, so it looks complicated. But if you guys look at my levels, guys, 605.65, 608.11. This is a good move on ODT. 605.65, 602.17. This is an amazing move on ODT. So, and okay, I also mentioned that I was gonna talk to you guys on how I choose my cons. So, I gotta go on Friday, see what play. Unless you guys remember what strike did I get on Friday, but okay, 605 puts. My cons are. My strikes that I choose are always based on my levels, and if I see that some cons are gonna be like $20 to $30, and they're obviously gonna be out the money since they're $20-$30, But if we look right here, guys, we got the 15-minute close right here. So we had 605 puts, or up here we're at 608. We got 605s at 31. Our original price target was down here, which we did. We got a couple 100% right here. And we're already at 605.72. So the fact that we go really close into the money, especially with a lot of time in the day, our cons are going to get squeezed. And that's what I like about the con. I just choose the strikes that I feel like are very possible. Obviously, if I'm feeling very, very ballsy, if I feel like eventually we can get a close below 605.65, then I could have got some 602 puts, But they're based off my levels pretty much. No, bro, no full pouring, no full pouring. Yeah, bro, I feel like levels just tell the whole story. Levels help tell us if we hold right here, we're gonna go right here. For me, levels have helped me out a lot in my trading strategy over the past few years. I've never seen nobody give levels off the 15-minute time frame that play in ODTs and stuff like that, and I feel like I just eventually just got it off just playing a lot of screen time and a lot of losing money. So I figured what worked best for me. And if this does not work good for you guys, you guys could always you guys don't have to give up. There's hundreds of other strategies. It's all about what works best for you guys. When I'm talking about my strategy, it's just simply what works best for me and what's the easiest for me to understand. I'll check BM after this, bro. The white levels, Sapphire trades, are my key pivot levels. Um, those are the main levels that I'm always looking at, and those are going to be my stop losses. And my red levels are pretty much my supply and demand zones between my key pivots. Like right here, this is my supply zone. And if you don't know what supply zone is, let me know. I already explained it earlier. And then down between this red level right here and my white over here is my demand zone. So like right here, so my supply and demand zones pretty much help me catch like trends as well. In staircases, I think this day we had calls, and we eventually got the close above over here. I'm obviously we got to push it to supply zone. I see with the rejection of supply zone, but I'm not too worried about it because I see us testing demand zone once again, which matches perfectly with the staircase right here. Staircase up here. Right here would be the second staircase because it's testing the FEG fair value gap over here, and testing our demand zone. We rejected it, turned it into a doji. We pushed a little bit more. Yeah, bro, but I don't know. I don't want to handle too many accounts. I just like having my personal account. Just make my money for the day, and that's it. I do want to start. I might think about it once I get my PC set up. I'm gonna get a whole PC set up next month. I want to create more videos for you guys. Make this as easy as understandable for you guys. Right now I pretty much still run everything on my MacBook, and I got like a portable screen that I can connect to it. So that's my setup right now. But in the next few months, I'm gonna buy a whole setup and everything. So and then I might just do a small account challenge. But right now I'm just enjoying the. I feel no stress just trading my own account. No stress, and that's the last thing I want to stress. If you guys ever feel stressed before trading, just don't trade it. Don't trade that day. You're just bound to lose. You gotta look into the market with a full open mind, stress free. Yeah, see you, bro. I feel like that's me, for real, all day. Who need to wait chat? What's wrong with y'all, bro? What's the account risk you take on the plays? My account. Oh my, like the players. Oh, some people want me. Some people say that they don't mind me dropping like my profit targets. Like my profits that like I used to on Twitter. I've dropped a whole bunch of screenshots of profits all over my Twitter, but I feel like sometimes when I drop those, I notice some people were trying to play a lot more bigger and stuff, just blowing their accounts a lot more bigger. But that's just the risk management that I have on my account. I've been trying to push up to the same amount that I was playing with 5 months ago. These past Last month I was playing with like under 5K for full size positions, two to 3K for lottos, and then this past month I've been pushing my budget up again. Before trading, bro, I still have it. I have a granite shop, so we do granite and quartz countertops. I just got like a broken wrist right now, so I've spent a lot of home time at home lately. But I got a granite shop, so we do granite and quartz countertops. I feel like back goals. I feel like all day, even if I'm not in a play, and I tell you guys I'm not gonna take another play. I feel like all day I'm still stuck on the charts, and I feel like sometimes that's why it gets a little bit easier because I feel like when I'm just looking at the charts, I already have an idea of what we're gonna do. It's just gonna be up to me if I want to take another play. Depending on the price action we're getting that day, obviously, but even when I'm not taking a play, I still look at the chart all day. And but even when I'm in a play, yeah, I don't really set alerts unless I'm about to go do something like really quick. I'll set like a quick alert, or if I'm just really into runners and I'm gonna play the game a little bit, relax. I'll set a few alerts, but majority of the time, I'm looking at the chart 24/7. And shit, my bad for cursing, but shoot, the more you guys look at the chart, then the more it's just gonna click, especially for me, less noise on the 15-minute time frame. I'm I'm looking at the chart all day, so something eventually has to click. You know what I mean? If you guys are just looking at the chart all day and nothing is clicking, then I don't know what to tell you guys. But like right here, guys, I haven't adjusted my levels. I usually adjust my levels on weekends, like on Sundays for like 5 to 10 minutes. But other than Sundays, every single night for like not 5 to 10 minutes. I meant like maybe 10 to 30 minutes. But I usually just adjust my levels just by a few cents right here. And this one right here, I'm gonna adjust it a few cents because I had it over here at 65. But clearly right here we see if I push the level up. I just really like to be on the dot when it comes to my levels. If I push the level a little bit up, it lines up a little bit more right here, a little bit more right here, and a little bit more right here, and that's the only adjustments I do on the day. And then I would go to the candle where if it's super close to the key pit right here, I'll go to the candle. I see the open is 75. I have it down at 74. I'll go over to these candles over here. Open 78, open 73. So I notice 75 is going to be a little bit more accurate. But that's all I do. I don't really do too much work on the overnight because when we were drawing all these levels up, if you guys were in my last class when I was drawing all these levels up, it's like an hour session depending on how low we want to go into the chart, but it's like a whole hour session. And the last thing we want to do is do that every single night. So we already have our level set up, and we just adjust it by a few cents every single night. And all my levels usually line up really well with Fibonacci's. But when it comes to that, I like Fibonacci's, but I like to draw my own level, take my own time on these levels, just so I can have it on the exact dot. Like right here, we see this 15-minute close on the underneath our level right here on the exact dot, a better confirmation for us. So yeah, I can do that if I have to, I feel like majority of the time I really don't have to. I just spend a lot of time at night time still looking at levels and everything, but when it just comes to levels, I just take everything off my chart. I take off VWAP, the 90 MA, just candles only, makes it a lot more clear. And I'm not gonna go. The only time I go over really past data is if when I'm drawing out my levels for the first time. But when I'm just adjusting them, I'm pretty much just adjusting them based on the data we got on this day. And right here, these levels right here, I didn't have to move them. This is already levels that I drew up days before, and look how well they worked. If they work really well, I don't have to move them one bit. I'm not gonna try to stress myself to move it. Double check if it's a little bit, if it's a few cents lower based off this open 602.11. So I'm not gonna zoom in like I've already put in the work to see that that's the level I'm looking for. So we got the 15-minute close below it, then I'm not gonna touch it at all. And then right here, I'll adjust these red levels right here, but right here it looks like it worked really well. The open on this candle is 606.40. I have the supply zone at 606.41, so it closed inside the supply zone, then closed below our key pivot, 100% confirmation. Bang. The only thing I'll probably check is if I have to lower this supply zone, but honestly, it'll probably look really good because I look at wicks, but I look at wicks if they make sense, if that makes sense. Only if the wick makes sense, because sometimes there's like really crazy wicks, but only if the wick makes sense. I look at the wick, but always looking at the open and the closes on the 15-minute. But honestly, I'm probably just gonna leave that level right there. Honestly, our levels are still pretty money, so I don't see a really good reason that we should adjust them. I'm just gonna see if nah, I don't want to move this level right here because we got this 15-minute close right here, so I don't feel like I gotta move it up. Our levels are still money. I don't gotta touch them. Hey, God bless Young Money Future, bro. Heck yeah, I know that I've seen you for a long time, bro. So every day it's just work, bro. Every day it's just work. Locking in every single day. You know, it's always good to get a little vacation, get a little peace of mind and everything, reset the mind. But every day is work. I promise you guys live soon, hazers. I just gotta get myself in that zone mentally, if that makes sense. I just been in a real comfy zone because we've been doing real well, but I just gotta get into that zone mentally. But like I said, I posted a lot of my personal screenshots and everything on Twitter. Sometimes people want me to post them. Sometimes I want to post them too, but my only goal is just to motivate us and help us out. I want to see everybody understand the strategy, and the reason I got on today is just in case like I plan on trading every single day this week, but I'm just saying like some accident happens, not an accident, but something comes up and I can't trade one of these days. You guys have exactly my strategy. You guys have my levels because I'm still for sure gonna drop my levels. So you guys have all that stuff and you guys can take the wheel from there. But bro, last year I do remember last year July, bro. That I was in Mexico. That was a really nice time. Yeah, guys, but you only use regular trading hours, not extended. No, I don't use extended, bro, because all my levels are made up on regular trading hours. But honestly, when I try looking at extended and I compare my levels I compare my levels to the extended hours price action we're getting, they usually always line up. So that's why I just don't try to stress myself. Don't try looking a lot more because sometimes I feel like I trade way better when I just look at it on the dot. Because if I'm gonna be honest, that time when I was last July, Gastro, hopefully I'm saying it right, primo. But last July, when I was in Mexico, I would just look at the chart. Sometimes, because obviously I'm on vacation, you know, but I want to trade. And you guys, I really appreciate you guys for being really, very understanding when I want to take a little break and stuff like that because you know everybody deserves breaks. So I would sometimes wake up honestly like at 10 a.m. or something, and then catch that afternoon move. Because obviously I already missed the morning move, so now I'm just looking for the afternoon move, and I would just look at the chart at like 12 time New York time. Um, just the price action I have right there, no bias. I trade. That's how I trade the best. Just look at the price action right there, no bias. Like let's say if we already have a really strong trend day down, I'm just looking at the levels whole time, and I'm not. And that used to be my biggest downfall on trend days. I would just try to catch the bottom or the top depending on the way we're moving. But that's my best way of trading. If I just want to get into a play, I just like to look at it right then and there. Maybe just a few minutes. Wait for if I see a play and I see a setup, I'm gonna be patient for it. But just right then and there, you know, because sometimes if you guys already see a big downside day, some people might want to look to get the reversal going, and nah, if you guys just look at it right then and there, see what's happening, base it off the levels, then you guys will still be able to catch more downside if it's a downside day, you know. So I just like to look at it right then and there. I don't like looking at too much background noise because I mean I'm still up once the market opens, but sometimes I don't try to look at it too much, and I might start looking at around like speaking my time in Chicago the first 15 minutes of the market. I might start looking at it there. Obviously, I look at it once the market opens just to see where it opened at, but then I really start paying a little bit more attention to it 15 minutes after the market, see how the market's moving, if we're getting chopped or what's going on. And then just try to make my decision once the first 30 minutes of the market's open, or maybe first 25, depending on if I'm expecting this move and it's looking like it's about to happen. So I just and it's gonna just give me a little bit of a better entry, then I'm doing it. But I usually just try giving it space in the morning just to do what it wants to do. And sometimes it benefits me because it happens that way. Because with shoot, I forgot the name, but there's like an imbalance sheet that comes out at 9 a.m. I think, and they come out at multiple times during the day, but 9 a.m. is one of the bigger times, the bigger ones that come out. And I think there's one at like the last 10 minutes of the market. So, and a lot of mock exactly, and the mock sheet, and if you guys notice the news, there's usually news that comes out like at Chicago time, 9 a.m. And when it comes to news, guys, I just play the news with my levels. I feel like the markets are. I always feel like the market already knows what it's gonna do. Um, you just have to. It just brings volume into it. That's so I just follow it. I just follow along with my levels. But yeah, guys, I would say if that's everything, then that's everything, guys. We got a good session in. I hope I made it as understanding as possible for you guys. If you guys always have questions, and if I'm because I obviously I look at the chart a lot during the day, so I like to stay away from my phone. I like to relax and stuff. So sometimes during the day I don't look at my phone too much. But if I'm always active in the chat or anything, go ahead, ask me any questions. I'm there to help you guys out, make it a little bit more understanding to you guys as possible. But now, hopefully, this was a little bit helpful for you guys, and now we're ready for next week. Let's lock in and let's make this money. Let's bank this week, guys. Appreciate you guys for stopping in.